If your coaching business isn't growing as fast as you want, it's probably not your offer, it's your lead generation. In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest lead gen mistakes that keep coaches stuck and what to do instead. If you're new to my channel, my name is Peter Scott. I'm the founder of Fearless Coach Academy, where we have trained thousands of coaches over the last 10 years to launch and scale their coaching business. Mistake number 1 is chasing every platform before mastering one. Most coaches spread themselves way too thin. They make a huge mistake modeling the Tony Robbins, Grant Cardones, and Gary V's of the world. They look at these influencers and they see that they're on every platform. And then they decide to start a TikTok page and an Instagram and a YouTube and a LinkedIn and Facebook, all of these. But the problem is, and the thing that you may not realize, is that Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone have dozens of employees working full time for them behind the scenes, and they're spending millions of dollars a month on advertising. And if you're just starting your business or you're under 7 figures in your business, you don't have the team and the resources to do that. So if you're trying to be omnipresent on all these platforms, you're spreading yourself way too thin. It's like that false belief that all the financial gurus started back in the 80s, which is like you need to have multiple streams of income. Listen, I'm an ex-investment banker and I come from the world of private equity. I get the importance of streams of income, but before you have multiple streams of income, you need a gushing river. And if you don't have one platform that is the well that you can go back to over and over and over again for leads and clients, don't make the mistake of trying to be on all these platforms. This is the biggest mistake around lead gen, is doing this. So my challenge to you is to choose 1 or 2 maximum. Our primary platform right now is YouTube. I create a lot of content on YouTube. We publish 1 video per week. Every now and then we'll put some of our content on Facebook, right? Or Instagram. I'd consider that the same thing because it's meta and you can just link the two together. But we have 1 primary channel where we get the majority of our leads and the majority of clients. And the question is, what is yours going to be? It doesn't need to be YouTube. It could be LinkedIn. It could be TikTok. It could be, whatever, but just choose one. Do not fall into the trap of spinning your wheels on social media because number 1, you're going to probably consume more than you produce because that's what the algorithm is set up for, is to get your attention. Number 2, you're going to waste all your time doing that when you also need to be the CEO, the sales manager, the coach, the marketer, all these other roles in your business. But if all you do is create social media content because you're trying to be on all these platforms, you're going to spread yourself too thin. So that's the number 1, the biggest mistake that coaches make. The second mistake is talking about your coaching instead of solving the problem. Now, I'll reference Fearless Coach Academy and our coaching program all the time, but I never say, hey, buy my program. I never say, hey, schedule a call with me so I can sell you. What I always do instead is say, hey, are you struggling with enrolling clients? Here's a sales script for coaches. Hey, are you unclear on what you should charge for your coaching? Here's a pricing guide for coaches that tells you the exact dollar amount to charge for your one-on-one coaching, your group coaching, and your online course. Now, what did I do differently there? Well, I didn't just talk about my coaching and wish and hope that you would sign up. I actually solved the problem of yours. So what I've done is I've identified the top 10, top 20 problems that our ideal clients are struggling with. And from that, I've created pieces of content, videos, checklists, templates, tools, all these resources that solve that problem. Now, I am unapologetic in marketing those because even if you don't decide to work with me, I'm still going to help you and you're still going to get a ton of value from our resources. But guess what? By consuming our resources, you're probably more likely to lean in and want to work with us. So are you doing that as well? Are you just promoting a website that's not well designed and doesn't have good copy, hoping that people are going to sign up with you? Or are you just posting on LinkedIn or direct, worse than that, cold messaging complete strangers, hoping that somehow they're going to book a call with you, which who in the world would do that? Why would you ever schedule a call, give your time, your valuable, scarce time to somebody else? That just blows my mind that people think that that's a marketing strategy. So yes, you can talk about the name of your coaching program. Yes, you can celebrate the wins of your clients, but you want to spend the majority of your content, your video, your written content on the problems that your clients face and offering them solutions without asking for anything in return. And by doing that, when you make an ask every now and then, somebody is going to be a lot more likely to take that next step. So that's the second most common lead gen mistake coaches make. The third is having no clear call to action in your content. Have you ever posted something, whether it's a video or an article, and you got some views, you got some impressions, but nothing else happened? You never got a lead and you never got a client or a sales call. Well, the reason is because you probably didn't have a call to action. Now, I'm not suggesting every one of your pieces of content you say, book a call with me or buy my program, but you do want to include a call to action. Maybe it's comment below. Maybe it's subscribe to the channel. Maybe it's give me a like so that more people can read this. Maybe it's private message me, right? Maybe it is book a call, but you got to have a clear call to action in these things. Maybe it's share it with somebody who you think would benefit from it. Because now what you're doing is you're actually directing, this is called direct response marketing, the person to take the next step in your process. And if people aren't led, they're not going to follow. Let me say that again. If people are not led, they're not going to follow. So if you want them to follow your process, you've got to lead them to do that. That's actually worth writing down if you want to throw that in the comments. The fourth mistake that I see is trying to sound professional instead of personal. Oh, did I make this mistake for the first 5 years of my coaching business? I felt so uncomfortable and I felt so awkward online. I was worried about being rejected and judged. I was worried about what my past boss and my coworkers that I used to work with would think. And so I, came from the world of investment banking and private equity and corporate. And so I was very corporate-y. I was very buttoned up and I was very professional, but people thought I was a square. And I wasn't me. I wasn't goofy. I wasn't self-deprecating. I wasn't, and again, doesn't mean you need to be those things. Just be who you are, but be personal. Talk about your challenges, your frustrations, your flaws. Be 100% you, because people need to feel a connection to you if they're going to hire you. Why? Because right now, where are people going for information? They're going to AI. They're going to ChatGPT. Where are they going to transformation? They think that AI can help them with that, but it can't. It's what coaching can do. But how in the world is somebody going to know that you're the right coach if they don't know anything about you? You've got to show up. And sure, maybe your niche is HR director, so there's an element of professionalism you need to have there, but still be conversational. Still imagine, like when I record my videos, I don't think about the thousands of people or the hundreds of thousands of people that are watching. I think about you. I think about one person. In fact, before I think about it, I didn't think about you. I don't know who's watching this right now, but I think about one of my closest friends. A friend who sees me in my highest capacity. A friend who will never judge me. A friend who believes in me no matter what. A friend who may be struggling with life right now or a problem in their business and sincerely needs this message. This is who I close my eyes and visualize when I turn the camera on. And that creates a personal connection. That's what I invite you to do, is talk to that friend. Not the person who's going to judge you or try to force you to fit into their vision of you. It's the first person who wants the highest and best for you. And when you show up that way, now you're going to feel that connection. Okay. The fifth and final mistake around lead gen that I see coaches make is simply giving up too early. One of my favorite sayings is, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. Now, you can collapse that time by being brave and being courageous and taking quick action and being decisive. But the reality is, success does not happen overnight. And I love all the personal development books. I've got my bookshelf here with all the great, books that I've read. And what I've realized is that many coaches, when they do some of these things, they start a YouTube channel, or they set up a funnel, or they start creating content on LinkedIn and start messaging people. They start building their business, and they don't get traction in the first 14 days or 30 days, or God forbid, 60 or 90 days. They give up. And that's the biggest mistake. It's the worst one of them all, because think about investing, right? We've all been told it's important to invest. And again, I know that there's considerations around that, but at the end of the day, what you're investing for is what's called compound interest, and compound takes time. So that first year doesn't really create any compound effect. That first 5 years, that first 10 years doesn't do much at all. But when you get to year 20, when you get to year 30, when you get to year 40, that's where you get that exponential growth. Same thing with your coaching business. But if you give up in year one, you give up at 6 months, then how can you even expect to build a real business? That's the one thing that differentiates the successful coaches from the struggling, is the successful coaches just refused to quit. They stayed in the game longer. They held their vision. They stayed connected to it no matter the heartbreaks and the breakdowns and the challenges and the fears and the frustrations and all of that. So the fifth and final lead gen mistake is giving up too early. Now that you understand the single biggest lead gen mistake, which is spreading yourself thin across all the different platforms, let me know in a comment below which is the one single platform you're going to use. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it YouTube? LinkedIn? TikTok? Just drop a comment below. And as always, if you found this to be valuable, then just subscribe to this channel right now so you never miss a future video. And make sure to check out my next video in the series, which will reveal your 90-day lead generation blueprint. If you want a step-by-step plan, click up here, watch that video, and I'll see you soon.